Messi is not who you think he is. Addictions, jail time, a disease that almost killed him. Here's 10 things you didn't know about Messi. And first up, he really spent $40 million just to conquer his biggest fear. Messi is known for spending silly money on exotic cars, Maseratis, Paginas, and even a 1957 Ferrari Spider, but he bought them cause of a fear he's had since he was a kid. Amaxophobia. Messi's disorder causes him to feel anxious or in fear of his life. Every time he drives or even rides passenger in a car, it's crazy to think he has come up against some of the world's most fierce defenders, but he is scared to even sit in a moving car. But it definitely didn't help that both Messi's brother and dad were in devastating car accidents. But Messi's fear of driving wasn't something he could neglect since he always has to travel. He researched and found more expensive cars have extra safety features and higher quality parts that won't break or smash during an accident that aren't found in regular cars. So that helped Messi conquer his fear. Messi has spent more money on whips than pretty much any athlete ever. But what Messi didn't know was spending millions made him the target of a heist. On 10th August 2021, Messi had just shocked the world as he signed with PSG and teamed up with Neymar and Mbappe. Because he just pulled up to Paris out of nowhere and didn't have a place to stay yet, he decided to stay at one of Paris's most prestigious hotels, the Raffles. But even though this place cost him $18,000 a night, it wasn't as safe as he thought. Thousands of fans knew Messi was in the area, so right when he pulled up to the hotel, fans chanted his name and took pics. Now the hotel thought they were prepared for anything when they upgraded their security and summoned a whole entourage of police to keep Messi safe. But the entire world knew Messi's exact location, and a group of criminals got a tip about when Messi would be leaving his hotel room. They studied Messi for years and knew he always wears expensive timepieces, including APs, Rolexes, Jacob & Co. exclusive watches costing millions. So one night, Messi left his hotel room. The ski mask bandits pulled up, climbed up the side of the building from balcony to balcony until they found Messi's room, snatched his jewelry and cash, then dipped. Now, of course, cameras caught them, but the suspects were never found, and they got away with items worth $40,000, so no wonder. Why not long after, Messi moved into a gated castle because not only did he want to make sure those criminals never get to him again, but the truth is, Messi almost never even made it to this point. Because of a rare disease that ruined his life, Messi was just an innocent kid who loved football so much, and his ultimate dream was to get good enough to play for a pro club, and he was by far better than everybody his age, so it wasn't long before teams began making offers. But at the same time, Messi was chasing his dreams. Something began feeling off about him, and one day he was taken to the hospital. Instantly, the doctors suspected something unusual about Messi's health because his appearance had not changed in years, and after they ran some tests, they diagnosed Messi with an extremely rare disease that put his football career at risk. He was suffering from a growth hormone deficiency that caused his body to not grow, which is why he was shorter than almost every kid at only 4'4". Messi's brain was affected by this as well, slowed down his ability to learn. Messi was told the disease was curable if his family could afford the treatment, but the injections would cost $5,000 every month, and there was no way his family could afford it. So, once football clubs heard that this prodigy's career might be over before it started, they all ghosted him and refused to help in any way. Well, all clubs except Barcelona. They gave Messi one chance to prove his potential at a trial, and when he was looking like the most talented kid the scouts ever saw, they wouldn't even let him leave their training ground without signing to their club. So, in one of the most historic contract signings in sports history, with a pen and a napkin, they whipped up an entire agreement for Messi to play football for them, and in return, they pay for all of his treatments. But genetic issues weren't the only thing Messi suffered with, as he also had a secret addiction that forced Barcelona to redesign their entire stadium. Messi couldn't stop eating junk food, and he developed an addiction to soda. Can you believe that this one in a generation type of athlete couldn't go a single day without it? One match day, even though Messi's manager Pep Guardiola told his players they weren't allowed to drink soda on match days, Messi grabbed a soda anyways and drank it right in front of everyone. Messi definitely had some big balls, but Pep wasn't going to take that type of disrespect, so instead of directly disciplining Messi, he got every single vending machine in the entire Barcelona facility removed just so Messi could never drink soda while playing football again. But once soda companies figured out how much attention Messi put on their drinks, they hired him to become the face of their brands, showing off his football skills during Pepsi commercials, and even gave him his own signature drink. So even though everybody wanted Messi to give up his addiction, it literally made him millions. Now, these next stories of Messi's life take things to a whole new level because recently he created something for another universe that's going going to make him billions. Messi is a man of the people and wants all his fans to own a piece of his life. So with the new crypto wave, Messi started designing something that would set a new world record, his very own NFT collection that represented his proudest achievements and biggest moments, and named it the Messiverse. Messi dropped the trailer on his gram, letting the world know the launch date, and it racked up over 32 million views. But things got even crazier when Messi made another post showing what each of the three pieces in his collection looked like. Fans all over the world were beyond hyped. So once they officially dropped, Messi's collection turned into the most expensive sports NFT collection in history. What is even crazier is that on launch day, the project completely sold out, making $3.4 million. And the rarest piece of Messi's collection, a one-of-one version of the golden one, not only sold for $1 million, but nowadays it's worth over $9 million. But something you didn't know about Messi making tons of money is what got him jail time. Since crypto ain't the only way he's been making it rain, he starred in Adidas commercials, teamed up with Kobe Bryant in an airplane advert. Messi even sold more jerseys than any other football player. But even though these deals were making him richer off the pitch, high taxes had him earning way less money than his family felt he deserved. So that's when things turned illegal. Out of nowhere, Messi was put under an intense investigation because Spanish courts noticed something fishy going on with his income. All along, Messi had his dad George in charge of all financial decisions. But for years, George was trying to help Messi save as much money as possible, and he thought they found a loophole. George began putting Messi's money into investments outside of their country to avoid paying tax, and some of the millions were tracked to Belize and Uruguay. Messi's money was being sent there till 2016. Messi made headlines as he was faced with a 21-month prison sentence for tax fraud. Messi and his dad were forced to show up to court, where they were being charged with stealing over $4.1 million in taxes. Messi claimed he had no involvement in this scandal and that he didn't even know he had to pay taxes at all. But the judge wasn't buying it. Why would a man making as much as Messi not pay attention to where his money is going? Messi was sentenced to 21 months, but thankfully, with all the money Messi saved, he hired a lawyer who was able to fight the charges and got them reduced. Instead of prison, Messi was only fined $255,000. His dad was fined $190,000, and in the end, Messi made a final payment to correct all the taxes he owed, so Messi saved their reputations that time. But it was recently reported that Messi has made a purchase that is damaging planet Earth. Messi constantly has to get from country to country, but he can't always just whip one of his supercars because it wouldn't cause enough damage to the environment. So he invested $15 million in a private jet to make sure the air is well polluted, and anytime anybody sees this pull-up, his iconic number 10 is on display, so they automatically know it's his. But that was a major problem, because not long after he bought it, it became one of the biggest controversies of his life. See, Messi had a stalker named Zach Louis, who not only studied all of Messi's moves, he kept track of all Messi's flights for months. From June 1st until August 31st, Messi took 52 trips all over the globe, but traveling alone wasn't the issue. See, Zach claimed that Messi's plane was destroying the environment and released as much carbon dioxide in 3 months as the average French citizen does in 150 years. So Zach claimed Messi's flights were causing waste to fall under the water, damaging the environment and destroying the lives of everybody else because it polluted the earth with over 1,500 tons of carbon dioxide. But we should spare Messi because he is taking these flights to provide entertainment for the world. Now, off the pitch, when you see Messi, you often see his beautiful lady and love of his life, Antonella. Now, you'd think Messi only pulled a girl this bad because he's a superstar athlete and worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but it's actually much deeper than that. See, someone literally died just for them to be together. Messi and Antonella grew up in the same hometown, and once they met, they got into a relationship and thought they'd be together forever. When Messi got offers to play football in Spain and knew he couldn't hold back on his dreams and moved away. Now playing for Barcelona, he figured him and Antonella would never get back together, till one day Messi's phone rang and he found out she was in trouble. It turned out her best friend was driving, got into a car accident, and died. Because Messi knew Antonella was suffering, he hopped on the very next flight and traveled all the way back home just to comfort her, and doing that revived the relationship they had as kids. Messi even convinced her to move to Spain with him, and they've been together ever since. While this was a fairy tale ending, would Messi still be here if another football legend hadn't sacrificed his life just for Messi to become great? Nowadays, when you see Messi, he looks ready for anything that comes his way, but he's a completely different person person than what he used to be during his early days at Barcelona. He was terrified of the older and stronger competition, and what didn't help is that he was extremely shy, especially towards his teammates, but one of the guys eventually got Messi out of his shell. The legendary Ronaldinho. At the time, he was Barcelona's star player, and in the prime of his career, Ronaldinho's award-winning performances had him packing the stadiums across the world. But not only was he the reason Barcelona finally became a winning team, Ronaldinho was something football had never seen before with his entertaining style of play, but as great as he was becoming, and even though many expect him to become the GOAT of football, right when he met Messi, everything changed. Ronaldinho felt like this kid not only had potential to become a top player, but even better than he was. And while most star players would have had an ego and just looked at Messi as this young kid trying to steal their spot, Ronaldinho committed to helping Messi become one of the greatest ever. And ironically, it was Ronaldinho who helped Messi score his first ever goal. But that was the first of many things that Ronaldinho did for Messi. Cause of this, Ronaldinho is definitely the most underrated footballer ever, as he took a step back and scored less goals just to help Messi become a star as fast as possible. Ronaldinho even predicted the future by telling the basketball legend Kobe Bryant that Messi was something special, and Kobe talked about it and said Ronaldinho, who was a good friend, was talking with him, and he told me, "Kobe, look, I'm going to introduce you to the guy who's going to be the greatest player of all time." I said, "No way, you are the best." But he said, no, this kid right here is going to be the best ever. Messi, who was only 17 at the time, but just to show the world that all eyes deserve to be on Messi, the final piece in Ronaldinho passing the torch was handing over his iconic jersey number 10 for Messi to wear. He knew this was an honor that he couldn't take for granted, and he scored over 600 goals while playing for Barcelona, becoming one of football's greatest players ever, all because of Ronaldinho's sacrifice. But listen, $1 million car, $10 million mansion, a $200 million theme park. Messi has spent over $600 million, and I know you want to hear more about that. So click this video right here